Good evening. I will call this meeting of the Union County Board of Adjustment, July 13th, 2015 to order. Before we get started, I'd like to first of all welcome two new board members, Mr. Rob Thornton, who has joined us tonight as a full board member, and we welcome you. Glad to have you on board.
Thank you.
And Mr. Christopher Amadeo, who is one of our new alternates, and actually tonight, Mr. Amadeo, you'll be sitting in as a full board member, voting on everything. So welcome to both of you. Glad to have you. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of April 13th, 2015. We do not have those yet, so we cannot approve them. They will be moved to the next meeting. Second item is to determine a quorum, and we do have a quorum here, 5 members, so we can conduct business. At this point, I will move on to the public hearing. We'll open a public hearing to hear special use permit 2015-003. First of all, we will determine if there's any conflicts of interest with this petition. Does anyone have anything they need to declare? I will say that it's signed by Mr. Green, and I'm sure we're probably related, but I don't know Mr. Green, so I am Mr. Green as well, so, but no conflicts there.
Spelled the same way too.
Spelled
Mighty
the same.
suspicious.
I know. I would be. I got the E. He got the E. He's got to be good people, probably. Okay. So no conflicts. We will move on. I will now read the petition. Special use permit 2015-003 Piedmont Recreation Association requesting a special use under section 25.010, section 25.020D, 14, and section 80.110 of the Union County Development Ordinance to amend an existing special use permit to construct a 6,000 square foot indoor batting cage at the existing Piedmont Recreation Association athletic fields located at 3504 Zebulon Williams Road, being on tax map 08-069-026, presently zoned RA40. I'd ask Mr. King to please come forward and be sworn. You swear the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You might want to take that with you because you're going to need it in a little bit. Is the petition complete?
It is.
Thank you, sir. At this time, I'll hear a motion to hear the petition.
Motion to hear.
Do I have a second? Second. Okay. Let's make sure, okay, I'm gonna write that down. Because she stepped out. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Mr. King, if you would now please give us the staff analysis.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Board adjustment this evening. This evening we got Piedmont Recreation before you. They're asking for a special use amendment to an existing special use, Piedmont Recreation Association, located at 3504 Zebulon Williams Road. Here is a geographic location. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can dim the lights so the audience can see. We'll see if it looks better. Is that too dark on you guys here?
No, I'm good.
Everybody good?
I apologize for that. The picture's very whited out here. This is the subject location right here. It's an existing ball field. They got their original special use permit back in 1994. The adjacent property, you can see, is mostly either farmland, wooded, and there are some single-family residential adjacent to the property as well. Again, the subject property, and what I've got pulled up here is that's the zoning layer, and the property is zoned RA40, and all the surrounding properties around it are zoned RA40 as well. What they're wanting to construct is a 6,000 square foot indoor batting cage. And here's some illustrations of what the cage or the batting cage will look like. It's going to be a metal frame building with, and if I'm not mistaken, is it standing seam metal as well for the sides and roof? Okay. So what the applicant said was that right now there's a current batting cage where this proposed structure is located. They're wanting to put it inside so that when there is rainy weather, so that they can have their baseball organization to have an indoor practice facility. Here, again, is the layout of the existing site. We actually had a surveyor go out there and draw up existing conditions as well as where the proposed indoor facility would be located. The circle represents the location of it right there. It's kind of center of the complex. And what I've done here is I took the overall aerial again, put this blue circle on there so you can see what is exactly on the ground, where this proposed structure is going to be located. It's fairly good distance away from the existing residential, single-family residential along Zebulon Williams. There is a adjacent property to it, but it's very heavily wooded. And then the structure itself is going to be more or less to the interior of the site, adjacent to an existing structure, or I believe that's a clubhouse there that they use. Staff did ask the applicant if there's anything that we could do to soften the effects of just the metal building. This is not a zoning requirement. They do meet all the zoning requirements as far as setbacks and everything. But the applicant did agree to do some landscaping around the outside of the building to kind of break up that monotony of just a steel wall right there to help out aesthetically. So just to kind of give you some examples, these are examples that I pulled off the internet to kind of see how, if the building's just standing out in a field setting, what it would look like, and by adding some landscaping to the side, how it can break it up and make it more aesthetically appealing. And with that, staff supports the request provided that the applicant can provide that they are in harmony with the surrounding area, and that they would comply with staff's recommendations for the additional landscaping around the building. At this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions, and we do have the applicant here as well.
Any questions for Mr. King? Okay. Thank you, sir. At this time, I would ask that anyone who would like to present evidence in favor of this petition, please come forward and be sworn.
Why don't you come on up and be sworn? If there's something you want to say, you can say. If there's not, if there's questions the board have, they can ask. Just let me know.
Both of you can do it at the same time. You swear the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
We're not wanting to have any testimony on this evening.
Okay.
You know,
What,
I'm
are they in favor or in opposition? Okay, we'll get to you in just a minute. All right. Board, do you have any questions for these gentlemen who have presented, who are bringing this petition at this time?
Really don't have enough to.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, I would like to know more about the building, the effect of dampening sound of metal balls on bats, and just kind of what your plans are.
All right, first of all, please state your name before you just state your name and your address, please, and,
My personal address, or?
yes.
Yeah, okay, my name's Dallas Green. It's 704, or excuse me, 4017 Sykes Mill Road, and that's in Monroe,
Okay.
28110.
All right. I believe the question was some question about sound of the bats and whatnot.
Yeah, the purpose of this building, of course, it's gonna be fully enclosed. We'll be using, the softer caged balls. Main purpose of this building, we've had real issues in the past. We host our middle school programs over there. When middle school tries out, it's always wet, coming out of the winter. And this is just a way to give them some indoor hitting, training, just, kind of enhance their game and team development.
Okay. Any questions? Yeah. You can please state your name and address.
Doug Helms, 215 Joe Collins Road, Monroe, North Carolina.
All right.
I'm the contractor, MCT General Contractor.
Okay.
The building will be insulated.
Come up.
Oh, I'm sorry. The building will be insulated as well, so that will help deaden more sound. The inside will have liner panels, so to protect the walls and that kind of thing. But it is fully enclosed, so it will be insulated that, you know, you probably won't hear much sound at all, really, whenever it's all said and done.
Mr. Green, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
There's currently a batting cage there. It's just an outdoor cage.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
there's,
sir.
okay.
So we'll have to pull that cage.
Okay.
You know, what we have out there is it's a recreation association.
Right.
We have football, soccer, baseball, t-ball through, you know, the
Right.
big field baseball, and girls fast pitch softball.
Okay.
How tall to the ridge?
I have to look to make sure.
Okay,
I think it's 16 feet, but I.
okay.
Any other questions while he's looking?
And will it be conditioned, or will you have the doors open?
Well, we are trying to determine, we're gonna go ahead and set it up for air if we so decide later on. But right now, there'll be an automatic air louver and a fan, and there'll be 2 garage doors that'll open up on either end, as well as 2 walk-in doors.
On this diagram, where's the parking? Are we surrendering anything by putting this building in for parking?
No, sir.
This is adjacent to.
So currently, you're already using it for a batting range, just in the outside range. You just put a building on top, basically.
If anything, it'll probably be less noise
Right.
than what's currently out there now.
That's why I asked the question, because it would seem to me that
Yes, sir.
it wouldn't make it any louder, probably.
No, sir.
It'll be approximately 21 feet to the ridge. The 16-foot eve, 21 feet.
Any other questions for these gentlemen? Okay. All right, y'all can be seated. Y'all will need to fill out a little green piece of paper before you leave. They'll, I don't know where they're at, but if y'all could fill those out now that you've spoke. At this time, anyone who would like to give evidence in opposition to the petition, please come forward to be sworn. Swear the evidence you give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you, sir. Please stand there and state your name and your address.
James Winfield, 3360 Zebulon Williams. And can he possibly put up his little mic?
Yeah, absolutely can. We'd like to know where you live.
By the way, I have nothing against y'all at this time, but this is just something else. I have no grease to nobody in here. First of all, we didn't know anything about this till Thursday or Friday, or something, man. And I don't go to the ballpark for nothing. I have no use for that place at the time. Blow it up. You got the right one, just blow it up if you can. Nice.
What'd you say your name was again?
My name,
Yes, sir.
James Winfield.
All right, so you have the wooded lot.
That's correct.
All right.
What's left of it. Was the ice storm we had the last couple of years until you could build all that. That might have been too much to ask for. I'm sorry. I didn't get through all that.
Or I tell you, we can just, put the county website up, make it easier.
I just wanted to see how you, where they had the circle road in there,
Uh-huh.
which I know it's not gonna cross property lines, but the problem we have out there is when we moved in 14 years ago, ballpark was there, not quite as big. There's been a lot of stuff going on out there. And my biggest gripe is with that place is my property circles from the soccer field down out to the main road. All right, I receive all the trash from the concession stands. I've been over there several times since we've been there and run people off that's parking around there doing stuff that shouldn't be doing. My problem is they got all this money to build batting cages. How come they can't put up a gated lockout yonder and help the community out there instead of leaving the place open for people to come in at night and do whatever. Plus, like I said, we're dealing with the trash, we're dealing with all the traffic, and then courtesy to the neighbors, Sunday afternoon, I know there's ball games, but there's a lot of times people like to have quiet cookouts. You can't have a quiet time around your house without a ball game or loud music coming from the football side over a good bit. And it's just got out of hand for people in that area to have to put up with stuff like that on the weekend. Now, you notice, I'm on Zebulon Williams Road. These two gentlemen, they won't hear a ball being where they're living at. I hear a ball being every Saturday, which is no big deal. Kids are having a good time. I'd rather for them to be there is out doing some drugs and doing other stuff. Sometimes I just feel like the park has no consideration for the neighbors over there, none whatsoever. And when we got this in the mail right here, I didn't know where they was putting it at, what it was gonna be like, and I just feel like it's gonna bring more traffic into the area, just more traffic, and there's no time for a family to spend time outside their own backyard to hear somebody over 7 days a week, and it gets old if you live beside the place. And the lights they got up at night, they don't even have the common courtesy to put the shields on the light. It lights up people's whole houses, 10, 11 o'clock at night. People's trying to go to sleep. I get up at midnight, 1 o'clock to go to work at night. Thank God I got the woods covering my house. You can see my house at the very last corner of my property right there, but where the area is right there, the trees all the way around, it's just littered with trees. And the guys that are mowing the grass and cutting stuff is bringing stuff over and throw it on my property. And I have to keep after them, so you can see where I'm coming from. It's not just those guys building what they want, it's the whole thing. And it's just too much for that little property. They have nowhere to probably park at now, you know? So I just disagree with bringing any more stuff out there to congest our community up. And that's basically what I got to say. I don't know if that goes any far. I thought maybe there'd be more people here tonight here, but I guess I was mistaken on that. But I hope y'all consider that. I don't want no kids not having nowhere to go play or do what they got to do. But some token, you know, there's other places to go batting caging at and to come in and just keep adding up the community, because it's a residential area. People try to live and work and come home, not to hear a crowd of music all weekend. And I appreciate your time.
Any questions for Mr. Winfield?
Yeah, I have one.
Sir,
So is
if you can come back up,
So there is no gate or lock at the front of this
Sir?
thing? There's no gate or lock?
There's no gate or no lock. I've asked people several times about that, and the excuse I got is there's just too many people coming in at a time to mandate anybody with a key or anything. So yeah, there should be a gate or time locked up yonder. If the gate closed at 10 o'clock, close the gate at 10:30. They got to be something done, because I've called the law several times. I drive a truck for a living. There's been several times I left at 1 o'clock in the morning, called the sheriff's office because there's cars parked out back. I've run young people off. I've run people off older than me and you out there messing around at night. And it's just an unsafe place. And it's just too much going on today. I feel sure if one of you guys was next to it, you'd understand what I'm saying.
any other questions for Mr. Winfield?
Well, I'd be glad to respond to your comments, and I know the board appreciates you coming down. We will need to pull the permit, not necessarily for this meeting, but we have the minutes when this was originally approved.
Yes, sir.
And during that time, there was testimony that said there would be a gate and it would be locked, that they would not have games on Sunday, they would be after school and on Saturday. So I don't know what the actual permit said, but there may be in violation of their permit.
Can I ask you this, sir? When was that approved?
94, wasn't that right? I don't see the data, yeah.
Somebody's in bad violation then.
Well, I mean, the zoning administrator can't do anything about it unless someone reports it to him.
Well, I understand that, but I've had disagreements with them before, and my thing is, as long as you don't mess with me, I'm not gonna mess with you and your, I don't think nobody should tell anybody what to do with the property. But at the same token, this thing just gets out of hand, gets out of hand. And I've talked to every president that's been elected out there to try to get along with them. I've even, that one corner right there, when Tim Edwards was out there, the one corner where it makes the L shape, I let them park a container on my property so they can have for storage. You know the container I'm talking about, right? It's been there, how long you been associated about there?
I've been out there for about 4 or 5 years.
All right, I've been living there 13 years. That's how long that container's been there. I try to get along with them, but at some point, how far do you go?
Well, no, I mean, the zoning administrator's making a note about that, and he will pull the permit. And if they're in violation, he will go speak to them. They continue to violate, they can lose their permit.
Well, I don't want no kids to know where to go, but at the same token, there's laws made and there's laws to be stood by. And if that's what they should be doing, they should be doing it, because there's been a lot of Sundays I'd like to have my family over there do something, only to walk out to hear, "Hey, Junior," you could hear it all the way across the woods. And then, my God, when the football crew come out yonder, it just like a whole different world took over.
Well, he will investigate. I don't know what the permits, was not accessible tonight, but we have the minutes from the meeting when this came up, which was accessible, and there are many representations made in there, even more than I just mentioned.
Yes, sir.
But be sure and fill out the green card, as you gentlemen should too. You know, just as a side, this is something that sounds like it needs attention out there. That's a little different than why we're here today, but I just wanted to pass that information on to you as a citizen, so you know.
Well, I appreciate that, because really, my biggest gripe is trash that's being thrown on my property, which is not as bad as it's been in the past. I have went back over there in days past and just threw the crap out across the road and said, "Hey, pick your junk up." That's the only way I could get it picked up. And they got kids running. The mom and dads are not paying attention to their kids because Junior's playing ball. There's kids out in the woods, which I don't care as a kid. But nowadays, if a kid gets over there, falls, breaks his leg, who's going to be responsible for it? Me. I shouldn't have to worry about that, you know?
I do see that Mr. Sturgis, our attorney, has pointed out some things here that are in the minutes that he noted regarding some things that apparently are not in place that potentially need to be put in place. So our action tonight won't have any, whatever, either way, won't have any variance on that. Mr. King will have to investigate that. Would you have any comment at this point regarding that?
Well, you know, the board they can impose any condition that they want to.
Right.
And one of the things that the board may look at tonight is there a way to mitigate through the amendment? Maybe some privacy fencing or something around your property that can assist him so that he does not have entry on his property or people throwing trash on it. You know, I'm not sure. It's just, is there a common ground that can be found so that everybody, when they leaves here tonight, is happy?
I mean, that's a good point. You know, one possibility is what I would like to see the actual permit, because we don't know whether the permit already has conditions in it about a gate. I mean, the minutes suggest it might be, and I guess the original file's probably locked up too. Their application may have information in it. Also, it might give these people a opportunity to talk among themselves as to agreeable solutions to deal with the impact on this, and then, you know, come back next month and pick up the testimony where it is. They may reach, the owners of this facility may be agreeable to certain conditions to be better, you know, to apparently deal with some, you know, adjoining property issues. We would have the full permit, may affect what conditions you may or may not want to put on. That's just a suggestion for y'all's consideration.
All right, Mr. Winfield, you can be seated. Thank you. All right, board, you've heard the attorney's suggestions. Any comments?
Well, I think we need to know exactly what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I'd feel more comfortable.
I would too, because, I mean, really and truly, permit should reflect the minutes. But if at that particular time it doesn't,
Right.
we've got the opportunity here to make sure that it does.
Right, absolutely.
So I
Mr.
say
Green,
wait.
Mr. Green, I believe wanted to say something.
Yes, sir, and I'm Dallas Green. And I wanted to touch to, yes, my current address is on Sykes Mill Road, but if you pull up that map, I'm about to build right across the field from you.
One thing I wanted to touch on, personally, I'm a volunteer. You know, I'm out there for the kids. Now, I can remember when I was playing ball, they were raising money for the place. You know, I still played baseball at Unionville Elementary, Fairview, and New Salem. But one thing I do know is nobody can have a mandatory practice on Sundays. You know, it has to be completely optional. And I'm speaking strictly for the baseball side. I was softball director for years, and now I'm the vice president over there. You know, we don't have games, we don't have anything like that on Sundays. Now, as far as the lock gate, you know, in 1994, I was going into my freshman year of high school, so I can't help you, you know, anything that was done in 1994.
Right.
But the one thing I will say, and I want to say to this gentleman here, is on our website, it's posted that we have a meeting first Monday of every single month. Now, I can say, since I've been on the board out there, I have not heard one complaint from any adjoining member or adjoining neighbor. Now, had we have known, you know, I can promise you that personally I would have done anything in my power, and I know the board would have done anything, but I haven't heard any complaints. So, you know, yes, it is a park. It's out, you know, in the rural part of the town. We have asked Union County police officers to feel free to patrol it as much as they can. Yes, there's high school students that are gonna go in there, you know, and kiss their girlfriend or whatever, you know, that, we
Right.
can't control that, but, you know, since I've been there, there's no crime's really been committed other than petty theft, you know, stealing baseballs or what have you, but, I just wanted to make known that, you know, the next year I'm gonna be just almost as close to the park as he is, and, you know, I have no issues with what's going on there, but I just wanna make sure from a Piedmont Rec standpoint that we're here to do whatever we can to help our community. You know, we're a nonprofit, we don't make any money, nobody's paid, we're out there for the kids.
Sure. All right. Thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
And once again, he doesn't live there. He's not there 24/7 like I am. I leave at midnight, and sir, when you leave at midnight, you know your wife and kids say there's nobody coming through the woods to your house to steal anything?
You should address the board, sir.
Well, I understand, but I'm just, he turned around and looked at me too.
I understand.
Anyway, there's a lot of issues. I've never said much about it, but
Sure, I understand.
once this come through the mail, I just felt like it's my time to stand up and say
Right.
something. And, as far as the games being played on Sundays, there's been games played on Sunday. There's practice out there on Sunday. And, if I could only took a video of it, I'd have brought it in, but I didn't think it had to come to that.
Okay.
I swore on the Bible right here. There's a lot of things I do, but when I swear on the Bible, I'm telling you,
Okay.
there's games being played out there on Sunday.
All right. What I would, board will make a decision here, but I think, you can go ahead and be seated. I think we're moving toward a continuance. Is that what we need to do?
Yeah, the board has that power to continue the hearing.
I believe we're gonna continue this, if it's the board's decision to do that. We'll continue this the next month, and let's get some questions answered. And during that period of time, I would highly recommend that you two gentlemen, sit down and have a long talk and see if y'all can come to some ideas, the way y'all can mitigate this to be happy with one another. And, you know, work it out. I mean, the board will do what the board does, but we'd rather y'all kinda work together and come back to us and say, here, you know, here's our plan, and both of you be somewhat happy with that plan. It's some give and take, obviously, but, come up with something that we could work together with and put something out there that both of you are gonna be happy with. We really need to take a look, I think, at what happened in 1994 to see what's going on, and before the board can make a wise decision tonight, we need to see what was in that first meeting, what was approved, and what exactly that permit looks like, and then we'll have a better understanding of what we need to do.
Well, and I'd also say that in the minutes, it says a gate,
A locked gate,
a lock gate at night.
so,
And you might as well go looking for that.
yeah, I believe that's gonna happen.
Yeah, because, I
Whether
mean,
it was
it's,
in the-
it should have already been there.
Right. And that's not your fault. I mean,
No.
you, like you said, you were a freshman in high school in 1994, so, I mean, but somebody dropped the ball there and it didn't get done, and so, if it's technical, and it is in the minutes, but we will have to pull it, and if it's not written on the permit, and if it's not in there like it should have been, it might be added by us in a month from now. I'm not sure what the board will do, but that's one thing, whether it's in there or not, it could potentially be coming, so he's right, you might want to be looking at that. Anything else the board thinks we need to say at this time before?
I've got one other question.
Yes, sir,
Are
Mr.
there hours of operation in this park? Are there hours of operation in this park?
The only, we're dealing with, youth. So
Sure.
The oldest kid that will play out there is middle school age kids. So middle school games typically start at 5 o'clock. So typically, we as a park, we don't have a tremendous amount of money. So we don't allow lights to be ran for nothing but games. No lights can be ran for practices. So in practice times in the summer, 7:30, practices are done. Where he's at, softball and baseball connects to him, football's on the other side. Football don't even have lights on it, so, typically, parks close down with the exception of a board meeting and upstairs, by 8 o'clock. Now, there is the exceptions to the rule where a game goes into extra innings and it might go to 9 o'clock, but, after that, lights should be cut off after that.
Yeah, I'm seeing 10 o'clock here, so I just wanted,
Yeah.
and I heard a different time, stated. I wanted to see if we were in the same category here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the ordinance did, the permit did require, or it said that the games will end around 10 o'clock.
Right.
At the latest, and
And then it also gives the only exceptions for Sunday would be that they might have to play a soccer game on Sundays due to lack of fields in the area at that time. And it is what it is. I mean, that's still the rules.
yeah. So we're gonna get a more firm understanding of these rules that were approved in 1994, because they're still in fact, they're enforced exactly the way they were written. No changes have been made that I'm aware of, so this is the only time anybody's asked for a change. So we'll look at those. You guys get together, please. I think that'd be beneficial to you guys and us, because we don't wanna come in here and have to make decisions without y'all being happy about it, because one of you might be mad at us, and it'd be best if both of you could be happy. All right, board?
Mr. Green, just one question. I assume at this continued hearing, we continue to take testimony if citizens have testimony to offer. Is that correct?
What's your legal opinion on that?
It would, yeah, because we're continuing the hearing. We haven't closed the
We haven't
public
closed the
hearing.
hearing, so yeah, if additional people come to.
So, and it would probably be helpful for Mr. King to make some inspections out there over the next month and,
Yeah,
give us some
Mr.
reports
King, if
on
you
that.
could go out there and first of all, you need to pull that, special use permit and read what's in it and go out there and see if everything that's in it is in force. Well, you know to do that, but I'm just saying, from our perspective, that would be really nice, and everything that's not in force, we need to know about.
It would also probably be beneficial to the board to know how county parks are being operated at this point. Whether they're gated, light rules. I mean, this is in essence a pretty good-sized park. And it's similar, probably most similar to a county public park. Not that the exact same rules apply to both, but probably be beneficial information for the board to consider.
Well, it would probably come real close to that Weddington Park down there, wouldn't it?
I mean, it's an athletic association. so
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of
It would be either like a
That's
wedding.
totally out of the county's jurisdiction, that's in town of Wedding.
It's in
Well, I
town.
know that,
I'm
but
not
couldn't we
sure.
get the rules that they've got that's appeased everybody around there?
I'm not sure, is there another one in the county? I mean, I know Indian Trail's got one in the city, Indian Trail. I'm not sure if there's anything like this out there in this might be in the town of Unionville though, is it? I don't, is it?
We're just outside of town.
Okay, so I don't know. You can look at that. You might not find one in the county, but just kind of get some ideas of what, I don't think none of them had, well, they might. Anyway. Anything else from the board? Mr. Chairman, Mr. Attorney, do I need to, vote to continue this, I suppose?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I would, ask for a motion on continuing this, hearing until the, meeting in August.
Motion to continue.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will be back August the 10th. August the 10th, folks.
And these same 5 board members will need to be the board members to hear it.
Yes. If one of y'all can't be here, please let us know.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Well, 2 of them would be a problem,
Yeah,
but, I mean, as long as 3 of us are here,
right,
legally, we can hold,
right.
Yeah.
But often we give people the option to continue.
yeah, but we'd prefer not to do that.
But if you know of
Check
any
your calendar.
conflict, if you would let Susie know in the
Let
next
Susie.
couple of days, and we could do a special meeting too. When you have to have the same 5 people 2 months in
Yeah,
a
once
row,
we
it's
start,
Right.
we have to
more
finish.
challenging.
Anything from staff? Anything from staff on that? Okay, I would like to make a quick, note. We do have 2 new board members, and Jonathan, who's not here tonight, hasn't had any training at all, so we will be looking sometime in the fall to set up some training, so you guys know what you're doing. You catch on pretty quick. Y'all been good, but, you kinda wanna know what you're doing up here. It's crazy sometimes, and, some of us been around so long, we know a little bit about it, but we still don't know everything, do we?
No.
Mr. Tilley, that's the first time I think I've had a continuance, and so see, there's always something new.
It's the first
Correct.
time we've had a continuance since before we come from upstairs.
Yeah, been, yep, the night before, so it's been a long time. I was brand new on the board. So anyway, we will do that, and also next month, board, we will be electing officers. It's required for us to do that every now and then, so, we probably should have done it tonight, but it wasn't on the agenda, so we'll do it in August. Anything further to come before the board? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
It was really good to meet you. Nice to meet you. Look forward to working with you.